what their trade plan says and not force trades. Yeah. But we got to remember, the majority of traders don't have a trade plan. So what seems simple to us, where we actually treat our trading like a business, is not the norm. We are the minority, right? We are the, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, think about this, right? And this is a very generous number. 90% of traders fail or aren't successful. And that's just the historic number that everyone says. I think the argument is that it's even more than that. Like it's closer to like 95. Now, there's a good amount of traders that you can break that into different categories, right? You can probably take a chunk of those traders where they have a trade plan, they just don't have the psychological discipline to execute it. But I would say that the majority of people don't even have a trade plan or a written trade plan. They have a strategy. They have an idea of what they want to trade, but they don't actually have rules. Think about, I don't know if you've ever been in here, Andy, for when we kind of do the trader assessments. Think about the trader assessments we do when I'm asking traders, hey, why'd you get involved there? And it's like, A-E-I-O-U, right? It sounds like they're doing vowels. A-E-I-O-U, right? Why are those the answers, right? Because they don't have a trade plan, right? If you ask anybody with a trade plan while they're trading, right, they'll tell you, why are you involved at that level? Double top at previous structure, RSI overbought in the first test, RSI divergence on the second test, lower low, lower close, entry, one stop, ATR above the high, targets the 32 Fibonacci retracement from the previous swing. Boom. That's it right there, right? You see how easy it was, right? How can I recite it so quickly, right? Because that is something I actually do, right? Price actions at previous, I'll slow it down. Price actions at previous structure. We have a double top. RSI went overbought in the initial test. RSI bearish divergence on the second test. Lower low, lower close was my entry reason. My stops are 1 ATR above the high of the double top. My targets are at a 32 Fibonacci retracement from the previous swing, right? How can you do that? Because it's actually in a plan. So it's monotonous and boring. And you do it all the time, right? It's like asking, like, how do you drive to work every day? I go out to the street and make a right, and I get a stop sign, then I make a left, and there's a stop light, and this is a dumb one because it's always on red and I never catch it, and I make another right? It's the same thing. It's mechanical. But most traders don't have a trade plan. They have an idea of what they want to trade. They trade breakouts. They trade trend continuations. But there's no actual rules on how they attack it. And with those traders, the assessment is pretty easy as long as they're not stubborn. It's hey, you've got an idea of how you want to trade already. Let's just make it rules based. And then we can basically take what they're doing already and assign rules to us. Okay, well, how do you trade that trend continuation? Well, I wait for a pullback. Okay, so if I identify the market is trending, then I wait for a pullback. What happens next? Do you need anything? Well, yeah, I like to look for the RSI to go overbought. Okay, so if we pull back, then look for RSI to go overbought. Now, what do you need after that to enter? Well, I use a higher high, higher close. Okay, so if RSI goes overbought, then I wait for higher high, higher close. Okay, how do you do stops and targets, right? So you can easily take something and just throw in that if-then syntax, right? You can make it rules-based. The problem is they don't have it rules-based, so they just don't consistently follow it. Sometimes they do this, sometimes they do that. So, yeah, the majority of traders don't have a trading plan, or they have what they think is a trading plan that actually isn't a trading plan. And that's one of the reasons they're inconsistent in the market. That's one of the reasons their profits are inconsistent, to be honest with you. But yeah, again, I like to think here at Tier 1 Trading, we're blinded by a group of very good traders. Like, this isn't the norm. Like, there's a reason why Forbes magazine and Brett Steenbarger and Mike Bellafiore, there's a reason they looked at our platform, Michael Lamott as well, and said, wow, wait a minute, like, you guys are better than some of the traders we have on our prop firms, right? Think about it, right? They have trading desks, professional traders trading big time money. And we have traders that are outperforming some of them. Now, obviously, they have some very, very big performers. Don't get me wrong. But that's why they were very impressed, because you guys have the mindset, which makes you the perfect fit to become successful, because it starts with mindset, right? If you know what you're doing and you put in enough work, you'll be successful. It's the people that are like, that don't know what they're doing that get into trouble, because the skill of trading is fairly simple, right? We can take you and bring you over to Mike who has a completely different way of trading, but because you know the fundamentals of the market and you know the importance of trading psychology and position sizing and risk management and discipline, right? He can easily teach you his style of trading and you can be successful because you're like a very coachable athlete that knows the fundamental skills. I work with track and field, as you guys know, right? I work with track and field, as you guys know, and you guys ever heard of like the heptathlon and pentathlon, those events? Right? Those are events where people are doing different things. So it's like, for example, the heptathlon, they do like the hurdle, they do the 200-meter dash, they do the high jump, they do the javelin, the long jump. It's kind of like it crowns the world's like best athlete, right? People don't come in as heptathletes, right? Or decathletes, right? Typically, they're people that are just very skilled in general, right? So you just find pure athletes. Like, man, like, and you guys have friends like that, or maybe some of you are that. People are like, that person is just an athlete. And because they're an athlete, they know how to use their body the right way. Obviously, they're coachable. They can learn, right? We have a girl last year who she came in as a high jumper and a triple jumper. And she had back problems. So those events aren't really good for people with back problems. And she got hurt her first year. And we're like, what are we going to do with her? But she happens to be a very good athlete. So we're like, okay, let's try this out. And because she understands how to move her body, right, the basics of biomechanics, because she's smart and she's teachable, she learned the other events, right? And now she's a conference scorer. She's one of the best athletes in our conference just because she was a pure athlete and she was just taught it and she was able to learn it and be like, okay, so I move my body like this. Okay. You guys are the same way, where it could be a completely different system in a completely different markets. But guess what? You have the general foundational skills of trading and you have the mindset that goes along with it. So the only thing that's missing is what? The right coaching, someone to teach you the way, and time. Enough time to practice and adjust. That's the difference maker. But because you're treating your trading like a business, right? It's there, and it's really no different than like here's my opinion. I think a good business owner would be successful in whatever business they want to start off. Right? We talked yesterday about like mobsters and how I respect the mob business, even though they do bad things, but they run it the same way as Fortune 500 companies. Right? A good business owner could be successful in a business. Right? Gabby owns a chocolate business. If I told Gabby, hey, take over my real estate business, she can do it. She may be unfamiliar with real estate, the specifics of real estate, and you are, but just using an example. She may be unfamiliar with the specifics of real estate, but guess what? She knows how to run a business. So it's like, it's all a matter of learning the specifics of real estate or hiring people that know about real estate, right? Hire people that know more than you do. But it's the same principle. Same thing if you want to open a franchise, you want to run a McDonald's or a boating company, right? It's the same principles, right? Success is success. You can take it anywhere. You just have to learn the specifics of whatever your niche is. Trading's the same way. Right? Did we not just look at the DAX and platinum and oil this morning and do the same type of analysis that we're doing here on the euro pound? Yeah, it's the same thing. Little differences, obviously, but it's the same thing. But yeah, that's why most traders fail. They just don't have it's the mindset of that it's a business. You guys are fortunate to be blinded to that. You guys don't see the emails and messages that we get every day. That's a harsh reminder of like what's actually happening in the outside world. Some sad stuff happening out there, man. Some sad stuff. I feel like we're some type of cult now, keeping you blinded to the world. Drink this Kool-Aid. Yeah, everyone else is doing it. You do it too. All right. I've probably missed some of the other stuff that you guys are talking about. If I did, and I think Andy said something about how can I take a trader assessment. We used to have it. We used to have it on the site, and then we got way too popular. But we can do them here in the live room. We can do it in Q&As. It's basically walking through your trade, and really accountability sessions are a good place as well. That's probably the best place you can do it too. It's walking through your plan and picking out the holes in it. So I would say this. I would say sign up for an accountability session. Or if you have a trade that you took and you want it assessed, shoot me an email and we can break it down in the Q&A. We've been breaking down trading plans in the Q&A and ripping through those. So a Q&A would be a good session to do it as well. We can actually take a trade and we can walk through and see if it's actually a rules-based trade and what we can do better, what you did good, what you can do better, and what type of tweaks you may want to make. So just let me know. That's what our Q&As are for. That's why they're by far the most powerful session. Not putting anything else in a negative light, but they're very powerful sessions because we're deep diving every week. Deep diving. Okay, so euro pound.